welcome back to Blaster Master 02. We're still on the plant planet with the melon girl.
I propose we call it the Plant It.
Okay.
Plant.
I'm gonna go out on a bit of an existential tangent here. I don't know if existential is the right word. I'm tired. Okay, my words are failing me. But like, okay, this is a good example of how like the same kind of mindset can be both like really good for one kind of creativity and really bad for another kind of creativity, because the same kind of no fucks given wacky hijinks approach to creativity created both an awful character and an excellent level in the same space, and it's kind of dazzling how that worked out. It's like,
Yeah. Oh, the flower steals your ship.
like,
I forgot about
this
that.
level is fucking amazing. I'm actually interested in playing Blaster Master 02 now. But, like, the character attached to this level, whatever her name was. What's her name?
Air, I think EIR.
Something like that. Plant girl, melon girl, whatever. No. Just no. Boring. Intensely boring. You're just being random for the sake of random. I don't like it. But that same kind of mentality is really good for video game level design. So, like, yeah, kind of.
I gotta wonder what comes first, though, when you're designing a level like this: the theme or the mechanics. Because, like, were they thinking, oh, how can we have the water floating in the air and stuff stealing your ship and whatnot?
Well,
and
you know,
then they went to Weird Plant World, or did they make Weird Plant World and just like, fuck it, we're just gonna do whatever the fuck we want?
Well, you know, it was probably a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B, because, you know, you might start with like a general idea of what kind of planet you want, of what kind of planet you want to make, right? But then as you try to figure out what you can do with that theme, you might come up with other weirder ideas, which in turn prompt you to add different other things to your level's concept theme. Your level's base concept may not have included all the, like, you might not have seen the anti-gravity water in the original plan for the plant world. You might not have seen like mutant enemies that grew in size for their original concept with the plant world. They probably just started with the idea of, okay, we want a planet that's based in plants. What kind of creative things can we do with that? And someone at that meeting raised their hands and said, well, it's allergy season right now, and plants have allergies, you know, attached to them, and that's something that we could play with. And someone was like, okay, put it on the board.
Idea board.
And then when they go back to ideas, someone's like, allergies. What if the enemies had allergies? And someone's like, okay, let's see what we can do with that. And eventually someone hit on the idea of like making the normal enemies from other planets go all wibbly. And and the comedy potential for that might have spiraled off into other things like wacky Undertale flower over there. So
I just want to know what was up with whatever person made Sexy Potted Plant, because that's a very specific fetish. Like, that's something only one person has, and I just have to wonder, like, what were they thinking?
I'm
when they made Sexy
honestly
Potted
like
Plant?
90% sure that the entire reason that idea exists is because someone thought the visual pun was funny.
Well, this game was made in Japan, and, well, I guess, is melons used as a term for boobs in Japan?
I'm pretty sure
I wouldn't be
it
surprised
is, yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if
Actually,
it was.
in
So, yeah.
Yakuza, there's an NPC that I distinctly remember. I think it's in Judgment, actually. There's an NPC I remember who distinctly talks about how if you're in his business, one of the things you absolutely need is an astonishing repertoire of pun names for boobs, because people eat that shit up, apparently. Like his business was trying to get people to go to the various hostess clubs around Kamurocho. So
Okay.
yeah, so apparently there are a lot of puns for boobs in Japanese. That's something I could have gone without knowing, but I know it now and I cannot unlearn it. And you can't either. You're welcome.
And then you learn that she was actually trying to help because you needed the fruits in order to make the medicine for her.
For a robot, mind you.
Yeah, you know, she just swallowed some Norton antivirus, and now she's feeling better.
Right, her name is Kana.
Ear is the tank, I think.
Oh yeah, Air's the tank. You're right. My bad.
Right.
Bum, bum, ba, ba, there's no key.
Oh, that's why the names for the tanks are like vaguely Germanish, because, yeah, that.
Well, I guess tank... I don't know if tanks were invented in German, but they certainly feel very German.
Invented in German.
Okay, look, that could still technically be right. If they were made in Germany, they were talked about by their inventors in the German language. I'm not going to let that one go. My pride needs this.
No, just take the L on that one, please. It's too embarrassing. Anyway.
Time to do her random fetch quest so we can get the good ending.
Oh, great. So.
Yeah, the plant that she's looking for blasted off into space.
Oh, great. Oh, so it's Pikmin? I guess.
Sure.
Just fly up into orbit. Why not?
We'll go with that.
I mean,
guess.
all the enemies do have little Pikmin flowers on their heads, so.
Yeah, they could be would they technically be Bulbmin? I think Bulbmin are the name for the parasite and not the actual whatever.
And yeah. I'm done trying to think about the logistics of this.
Yeah, this place is weird, man, all right. But yeah, no, this is probably the best level I played. When I was playing, I said earlier that I hadn't finished it. The last level I got to was the one that was like half and half. Like you
were almost done with the game then.
Oh, okay. Well, that happens with me all the time. I'm like 2 episodes done with the show, 3 chapters left with the book, 1 level left in a game, and then I drop it and do something else. That's just my whole life.
So, like, are there any vague or esoteric conditions for getting the good ending that we should know about going in?
Like I said, it's just doing the optional fetch quest.
So it's
for
just
each
completion.
main character.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So, like, after you finish the worlds with the different friends on them, you just talk to them again.
Got it. All right, that's fine. Do those enemies have, like, flowers clogging their cannons?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
If I remember correctly, there's a pretty big difficulty spike after this world.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Okay. Yeah. This game, I would say, is harder than the first one. Overall.
Yeah, for sure.
It helps that the game purposefully, like, took away your overpowered crap from the first game. Like, the blaster and... Well, the tank never really felt overpowered in the first game at any point.
No, not really.
Yeah. Are you just picking up items here, or is this part of the side quest?
No, I can't remember if there's like like I said, this is a 100% run, so I'm getting every item anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I
So
always try to
I
go
can't-
for everything as soon as I can.
Yeah.
How much backtracking does the game need for 100% in terms of like going back to old worlds?
Because of the whole planetoid system, not really a whole lot. To be perfectly honest with you.
Okay. Like, so yeah, because I remember you never, like, I was able to completely clear out the first few levels all the way through. I don't think I had anything left over.
Yeah, okay, so I've completed this planet, so it's just doing the side stuff now.
Okay. I appreciate that the water is placed in such a way that you can fall the fast way without dying.
Whoop. I don't know how I lived there.
Because the water caught your fall, even though if you land in water from a high enough point, it's probably not going to do
Help
much
you.
better than like landing on solid ground. Oh god. Welcome back to Ted Misremembers Science Facts he looked up one time. I think, like, under a lot of situations, you would be better off, like, landing on a bunch of trees than landing into water from an equivalent height. Because, like, the trees will go, like, boom, 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 as you go through the branches.
They'll stagger your fall rather than immediately breaking it, yeah.
And whereas if you land on the water with nothing else slowing you down, you're just as likely to break all your bones.
Depends
as
on
if
how
were
you
to
land on the
cement.
water, though. Like,
Yeah. I mean, granted, you're better than landing on cement. It's just after a certain height, not that much.
like
better.
if your body is angled a certain way, you'll sort of cut into the water. But if you were to land flat on the water, it would hit like all of your body at once, and that wouldn't be good.
Yeah, you'd have the world's most painful belly flop.
That's why swan diving is swan diving, because you cut into the water and it allows you to keep as much momentum as you can from your jump. Whereas if you were to go in like, back first, you'd probably snap your fucking neck.
Yeah, probably. Break your spine. Who knows? Plenty of other pleasant things could have happened.
You might go in feet first, and although most of your body would be okay,
Yeah, this is the area where the planets are freaking the fuck out.
I forgot. This place is bizarre.
so you have to hit the planet as it passes by.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
do
kind
go
of.
and set orbits. The orbits with the world's largest quotation marks in a different font and color.
The mood whiplash is so strong that it sent the planets into like ridiculously fast orbit.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
Well, I mean, ridiculously fast, all things being relative, because, hey, surprise, surprise, planets that are in orbit are already going at ludicrous speed. So if you're going at ludicrous speed by orbit standards, you probably reduced everything on the surface of the planet to jello.
I think I remember a joke from Malcolm in the Middle about that, actually. Because Malcolm is spewing the rotation and orbit facts to Reese and Dewey. So Reese, being the idiot that he is, just kind of sits down and holds onto a chair for dear life afterwards, and Dewey just goes, "Wee!"
So, yeah, that's a funny joke, but, like, actual flat earthers try to use that logic as an argument against Earth being round. Like,
Oh, because if we truly were revolving around the sun and the planet was round, we'd fall off? Is there logic?
their logic is more like, do you really believe we're moving that fast through space? It's ridiculous.
Yes.
It's like...
I mean, you don't... If you're on a train, you don't feel like you're moving that fast on the train itself. You just feel like you're staying still. The planets are like that on a scale times 7 billion.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, that's not the point. The point is to try and sound smart when they're not actually smart.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Yeah, the world isn't flat, kids. The only thing that's flat is your mom. Oh! I'm sorry.
It's like we've been to space. We've literally looked at the planet ourselves. It's round.
Yeah, but the government faked the moon landing, so you know maybe we didn't actually go to space.
Look, you don't want to dive down the rabbit hole of the kind of arguments these people come up with, okay?
Look, listening to conspiracy theory arguments is like listening to myself arguing something I know is wrong on purpose because I think I'm being funny. Notice how I say I think I'm being funny because I'm never actually being funny to anyone but myself when I do that.
A personal favorite of mine is when someone put a photo of the distant planet Earth into paint and then fucked around with the colors so that a bunch of squares appeared and tried to argue that the image was doctored. And it was like... it was just the JPEG compression.
Are you saying that putting something in a Microsoft Paint lowers the image quality, Lewis?
No, it was just that, like, the quality of the image they started with was already compressed. So when you screw with the colors, you start seeing the compression artifacts.
Conspiracy. Microsoft Paint is perfect. It's flat. I tell you, it's flat. It is not actually flat. Get some help.
We'll see you all in the next part of Blaster Master 02.